Yeah. Hey, welcome back to the show, baby. We're talking NCAA upsets. Big right here on Son of a Gun.
Rest in peace to my grandma, yeah, she raised the dawn. Yeah, and shout out to my mom, I'm a son of a gun. Kids out.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, let me ask you something. You be sporting all these sports, different teams and whatever. What's that you got on now?
This? Oh, yeah. This my little Detroit Tigers Justin Verlander throwback piece from the 2014 squad, man. This is he was my favorite pitcher. And yeah, so I had to get the jersey. I mean, it's clean.
It's sharp.
Thank you. Yeah. It was Verlander, I don't know if you know this. That rotation in 2014, all five starters ended up winning Cy Youngs. David Price, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Anibal Sanchez, and the solo brother on the squad, David Price. How we doing?
Did you say David Price twice?
Who did I say?
I think you said him twice, right? Price and Scherzer.
And
Verlander.
yeah, and I forgot. Rick Porcello. That's on me. My bad. Didn't mean to downplay 2018 World Championship with the Boston Red Sox. My fault.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
appreciate it.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Well, let's get into it.
Hey, you know what? Before you fire that first bullet,
What happened?
on my way to the studio, Cassidy and I were on the phone, and okay, so now I need to address the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It seems a couple episodes back, I may have made some comments about the so-called boneless buffalo wings, and there have been some comments, and so I needed to say that those were my views, and those views were mine and mine alone. They do not represent the host. They do not represent anyone else in the studio or the station. Those were my views and my views alone. And so I just needed to address that because there were some comments and some people were in their feelings about it or whatever. And I just thought I need to address it. Now, I need to go ahead and say that was my view then, and it's still my view today.
It better be.
I am going to reiterate.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking to any of y'all that agree with me. Okay, I'm not talking to you. I am talking to the sheep. Yeah, you know who you are. Because you're probably the same people that shop at Target.
There it is.
The Penne Company, and Whole Foods. Because you walk into these places talking about you're going to get you one of those boneless buffalo wings. Because you're probably the same people that came out of church shaking the hand of the priest, talking about a good job, and then racing over to your favorite place for brunch so you can have a cosmopolitan or a martini or, oh my God, a mimosa. And then at the same time have the audacity to sit there and say, hey, you know what? I want some of your boneless buffalo wings. They're meatballs. $16.99 and you get 8 of them. They don't even give you spaghetti. They throw French fries at you unless you go to one of those little uppity places that you get tater tots. But hey, I am just just talking to those sheep and to Mr. Karen. You know who you are. Oh yeah, Mr. Karen, you know. So I can tell you, they're boneless chicken wings. There's no such thing. Chicken wings have a bone. So me and a buddy, we ordered, and just for the sake of it, I thought he was just trying something new. He ordered some of your boneless buffalo wings. And our orders came, and I got my wings, and I grabbed them with the hand, because that's what we do down here in the South. We eat chicken with our hands, because you're supposed to, not with a knife and fork. So I grabbed that thing, and if you think I'm the only one that thinks so, even old-ass Colonel Sanders said they were finger-licking good, right? And so my buddy ordered the boneless. Our food came, I grabbed mine, I started eating. He just sat there. And I was wondering what's going on. Finally, the server came back and said, sir, is everything all right? He said, I need silverware. I said, yo, you know what? Bring bring me a to-go plate. His silverware came. He opened it up and cut his chicken meatball, and ate. I packed up my stuff and left. He and I have not hung out since then.
Y'all are not friends anymore.
So I know what y'all are thinking, and so I've heard the comments. I've seen the comments. I've seen the backlash. They're meatballs, people. They're meatballs, and I'm talking to the sheep. Specifically, I'm talking to you, Mr. Karen. That's right. I called you Mr. Karen because Melissa wouldn't have that, and you know damn well Shamanique, she ain't putting up with that crap. So, yeah, Mr. Karen, I called you that. But I know what you said. I heard what you said, and I respect that. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to address that. You said, well, sir, not all birds have wings. Huh! And I pondered. Perhaps he has a point. I don't know what. Maybe for Christmas we'll get him a hat to cover it. But in the meantime, I decided to do some research, on Google. And Mr. Karen, I want you to know, I looked and I found. Yep, right here. I found your wingless bird. Check him out. No wings at all. And look, he flies. You see that? He flies. And here's what I want you to get. Look at him. Bones, baby. He's got bones in him. I just needed to get that out there. We good? Okay, we good.
Yo, you are nuts.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You are nuts. Oh my God.
Tyrese hooked me up with some Coke. That's the other thing we do down here in the South. Y'all might drink Pepsi up in the Midwest. This is Coke, baby.
Oh my, I'll be honest. No, you're good. I just did not see that coming at all. That caught me by surprise. But I want to make one statement. His review of boneless meatballs also represents my views on that topic too. I just want to put that out there, make that statement clear that I too am represented by that 10-minute spiel there. Somebody clearly pissed you off because that was crazy. That was your full middle finger, and it was extended. That's so wild.
These people, they're walking around the parks with their toy poodles on a leash, taking pictures of birds, and have the audacity. What?
My bad. I did not mean to get you riled back up. That is wow. Okay. So
we good, Cassie?
Yeah, I'm about to say no, not good. You're definitely gonna have to see HR about that. Wow. He's upset, and some people in the NCAA March Madness men's bracket got upset this week, man. Kentucky University. Yikes, buddy. What happened?
You know what? That's a good school. They have a good program. They have the same coach. He's been there. He's probably going to be there forever, John Calipari. And so he's probably going to be there for a minute. But I dare say, if I go out on a limb right here, and I don't want to hear anything back about this, but I think they have become irrelevant.
They're no bueno anymore. I mean, and you know what it was? It's all the coaching, guaranteed. They always get talent. They used to be a one and done, I build pros here, but now you can't even win the tournaments. This is when they were winning tournaments and stuff, so it was okay to say, oh, yeah, we're one and done. We really don't even care about school. But now you guys are getting busted by Oakland. I didn't even know they had a team.
Right.
Until this March Madness, I did not know that was a university.
Are they in Oakland?
I have no idea.
But
the only thing I know is Jack Golke, yikes, has a burner. Has a burner. And John Calipari couldn't make one single adjustment.
Nothing.
In the entire game.
Nothing.
40 minutes. And in Oakland, listen to this. They're such a small school that they only run one play on their basketball team. They run one play.
Fine Golke.
Screen for Golke. And the Kentucky Wildcats did nothing. Zero adjustments. They only had to make one adjustment. They just had to make one just to stop that play.
Just step out there.
This man had 32 points on 10 threes. That means that he only shot one ball inside of the three-point line. Tell me how hard it is to guard someone when you know they're not coming near the paint.
They're not going in there, really, So, like I said, if there was ever a feeling of one of the teams being one and done.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give you one of these for that.
Yeah.
You did call that. You said, hey, they're my one and done team, and sure enough, boom, they get trashed by a school that a lot of people did not know existed.
Didn't even know about.
How did they even get in the tournament? It's like the movie Dodgeball. How did they get into this tournament? Right. You know what I mean? How did they get there?
So,
and then they trashed them.
I think part of it is the SEC name by itself may have more weight than what it should.
Sure.
They had a lot of teams in, and look, they have Tennessee and Alabama still playing, right? Everybody else,
see ya, smoked on.
Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn, really?
Yeah.
Auburn got beat by Yale.
We used to make jokes in middle school. Yeah, the reason they're good at basketball, they can do the math numbers about the trajectory of the shot, how to get it in there. But I mean, yikes, bro. We can't beat Yale.
Yeah.
We can't beat Yale. We can't beat Oakland. Like, what do we got going on?
So perhaps as far as basketball is concerned, maybe the SEC is overrated.
I mean, basketball now with the NIL money, football's probably going to be maybe overrated, even though people probably already think that.
I think it's probably going to balance, and I hope we get into a little bit more of that too.
We will, but let me stay on Kentucky now.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's not just like you didn't have the talent. No, you had the talent.
You had the talent,
right? You know what I was seeing? Oakland's bringing the ball down. Guys are standing 5 feet off their man with their hands by their hips, on their heels, not even in the defending position. No one had their hands up. What is defense? All defenses is effort. Everyone who's ever played basketball, right? There's schemes and stuff like that. Defense is effort. Put effort in. Where do you get that tenacious effort and stuff? You get it from your coach every day at practice. When you don't get down with your hands out, boom, you're on the line running. Nobody wants to run all day. John Calipari, you have to instill that into these 18-year-old freshmen who are the most talented basketball players in the world. They just think, hey, I'm going to score. Bruh, you got to play defense in college. John, that's on you. I don't know why you're still a coach there. You know what they should do? I know why you're a coach there, actually. You got a buyout. You signed a deal. You knew what you were doing. You signed that big deal, so then, boom, they get you out of there. They got to pay you $35 million to fire you. Right? So that was like a little safeguard for you. So what I think the University of Kentucky should do, right? Boom, sure, you can be the head coach. Get all the recruits, whatever. They need to get someone who knows basketball in there right under you to teach the team. You recruit, they can save their $35 million, and then they actually could win important basketball games in March.
Yeah. Because that's 2 years in a row, first round and going, right? So, yeah. And it's such a blue blood program, too. You know, you just hate to say that they're irrelevant, but here we are in 2024.
It's terrible. I mean, they get better, bro.
But what that does do for you, it opens the gate a little bit. And one of the things that you talked about, you kind of had this funness for North Carolina State, and they got hot at the right time. So with Kentucky out of the way, that second round game for North Carolina State was against Oakland versus having to play against Kentucky. You have some thoughts now? It looks like it's going your way.
Yes. Yes, my first thought is, you notice when I said a good call on Kentucky, what did I do after that? What did I do right after that? That's what I want to happen right now before I get into my spiel about NC State and how I was a genius in calling it, saying, you know, when a team is hot in March, they're probably going to win in the tournament, and that's what they've done. They won 2 games. But before I get into that, go ahead and do what you need to do, man.
I don't really know what I need to do.
Okay. What you're going to do is listen.
Let me tell you why. Let me explain why. Because you probably don't know anything about Jimmy V.
I know who Jimmy V is. Everybody knows who Jimmy V is, not just from the foundation, but we know him as the coach.
The coach of
NC State, yeah.
Okay.
Surviving whatever it is.
Survive and advance, right?
There.
Okay.
Exactly.
So,
have we seen the 30 for 30? What is he talking about? What is he talking about?
My point is we need to wait on North Carolina State, not because they haven't done what you thought they would do, because I think that's admirable, and they probably no. So we just need to wait because they've done it before. So it's in their blood, and I want to see them do it again. Their path just got a little bit harder with Marquette. If you want to be congratulated for advancing through the first 2 rounds.
Listen, And see that's the problem with these old heads these days, man. That is the problem. They missed the entire point. I didn't tell you to give a couple hand claps for the NC State team. I told you to give hand claps for me for telling you what they were going to do in the tournament.
They were
because
for you.
told me what Kentucky was going to do in
They
the
were
tournament,
for- they
and
were
then
for
they
you.
did it. I
They
didn't
were
give
for
a.
you.
I would never clap my hands for Kentucky after what they did in the tournament. You
This
crazy?
This was for you, for your choice, for what you said.
Uh-huh.
You knew something was going on. They got hot. You were right. Here they are. So we'll see how they do now that they've advanced to the Sweet 16. As far as you're concerned, for predicting such a outcome,
Yeah, they're quiet in the beginning, but boom, when NC State does something crazy, ends up in the Elite Four, yeah, he better be cheering, hollering, yelling. I need to see all of that because this is crazy. What did I tell you? DJ Burns Jr., the lefty specialist, he's got that OG game. He plays how you used to play back in the day. Hey, give me the ball out there on the wing, boom. I'm going to bump you down. I'm going to bump you down. I'm going to bump you down. All right, you're tired of me. Oh, lefty. Lefty hook. Let's run it right back down the court.
Yeah.
I'm going right back to that same spot, and I'm
Yep.
gonna bump you down, bump you down, lefty. And then he beat Oakland in OT, led the team 24 points. But every time, I don't know if you saw the game, every time he touched the ball against Texas Tech, all the fans, yeah, every time.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times do you think he touched the ball that game?
16.
Every time they
Every
went
time
down the
they went
court
down.
and he was in the game, he touched the basketball in that one spot on the left wing every time.
And if they're not stopping it, okay. That's how it should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
100%. 100%. I mean, why stop it? John Calipari's making $9 million a year, and he doesn't teach his guys defense at all. So maybe that's the key to getting overpaid in the NCAA world of men's basketball.
So,
Absolutely ridiculous.
But, at the same time, congratulations to NC State because then they went out and had a hard-fought game against Oakland that took them to overtime. Now, a little bit of that can be said for a letdown after expending all of that energy against Texas Tech, perhaps, or because they
gotta
weren't playing
hurry up.
Kentucky.
Cassidy said it's time.
Okay.
Time to go to commercial.
So, all right. So that's my opinion.
Okay.
Way to go.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back with a few more upsets and Caitlin Clark back in the news for doing dumb stuff again. I hate
Again.
it. We'll be right back, man. Jeez. Make better decisions. Think twice. Pull out. Trayvon Diggs got Future's baby mama pregnant and they're going to have a kid. She also has a child with Bow Wow. She's 39 years old. He's 25. Wow. Hey.
Wow. Cougar Nation, ain't it? She went to school. She found out this was going to be her profession, and she is succeeding at it. 1, 2, 3, just lining them up. She'll never see a full day of work in her life. I don't understand how some of these merry-go-rounds keep coming back around. I can't be mad at her. She did her job.
Secure the bag. A third bag. Like, what are we thinking?
I think he thought he was going to intercept that thing. Oops, missed that one right through his hand. Not running that one back.
Oh, hey, make better decisions. Think twice. Pull out. Hey, welcome back. Dudes keep getting beat up by teams they should never lose to. It happens every March. Will it ever not happen? Probably not. That's why March basketball is so exciting for the average NCAA men's basketball fan like myself. Every time you make a bracket, there's no chance you're going to get a perfect bracket, but getting some of these picks wrong is crazy, and it happens to me every year. Who did you say last week? You told me, yeah, since you didn't want to give me no high fives for NC State. You told me, you sat right there and you said, Kansas is getting their 2 stars back. Everybody sleep on them. They're going to go crazy. What did I say? I said, so they're just going to come back both healthy and every. Yeah, they're coming back. It's already been said. They're the runners. What happened?
Only one came back, and he tried, but the other guy did not come back. And they survived the first round, but they went up against Gonzaga, who, they just live in the dance. So, Kansas is out. They were a 4 seed, and they're out. They just didn't have all their weapons.
Okay.
And so they're gone.
My name is Michael DeBrell, and I've made a mistake last week. I'm sorry.
Listen, in all of the times that I do these brackets, there's one thing that I know for sure: a 12 is going to beat a 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I know.
Grand Canyon beat St. Mary's, who were going to be a darling, right? So that happened, right? Mm-hmm. So we see these upsets. These things happen. That's why it is called March Madness. Kansas, on paper, when those guys are healthy, they're pretty good when they're healthy. They're not healthy, we can see what happened here. So, it is what it is.
Kansas ended up losing 89-68. If anybody does quick math, to know that's a 21-point differential. And what do we say in 2K when you go down 21-0?
Next.
Pass the sticks, you bum. Pass the sticks, you bum. I should have never wasted my time playing this game against you. You're garbage. Get him out of here. Kansas, hate to see it. You never really like to see injuries, though,
right?
In March. And so we hate that for Kansas because we'll never know what this team really could have been.
What it could have been.
Yeah, but tough break. Gonzaga is just a purebred in the NCAA tournament, so they know how to handle business.
Correct. Grand Canyon beat St. Mary's, as we said, and,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're going to take on Alabama sometime today. Yale beat Auburn. They're going to take on San Diego State this weekend. One that you picked kind of sort of was James Madison. You liked them, and they went out and they beat Wisconsin. And so we'll see how they do, because I think their next opponent is Duke. Nice job. Nice job. You like James Madison, so nice job. There's your high five, right? So we'll see. Now, I do know in one of your brackets you picked Baylor. They're going up against Clemson today, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Okay. And before I even get called out for it, I'll just go ahead and be a man and say it. Right? Last week when I said that Stetson was gonna be my Cinderella, I was lying through my teeth. I knew what I was saying was incorrect, but it sounded good, and I was just going for the long shot. It was a hot take. They ended up losing by 30 plus. I don't even know what the score was. We all knew that was going to happen, but being a Sun alum, I felt like I had to, throw my hat into the ring for Stetson, just for the off chance, the 1 in 1 billion chance that they did something crazy. I had to say it. I hated every second of it. I knew they were going to get blown out, and I gave a false prediction. So that's on me.
Well, in the heat of the moment, I can understand. How you have that conference loyalty thing going on, but you had to know the other team was going to show up.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And as soon as they came out of the locker room, I was Oh.
Hey, and shout out my boy Anthony K, man, UConn alum, first rounder by the New York Mets. He let me know immediately after he saw my prediction that UConn was going to win by 90. He was just a little bit off, but close. So, hey, shout you out, my guy, for going crazy. And the men's side of the bracket's not the only thing going on right now.
No. I'm impressed by the women's side at this point. All of the 1s and 2s have advanced on the women's side. So
LSU's looking very decent. They just won. I just watched that game.
Right.
South Carolina's still doing their thing. Yeah. Iowa, they're doing their thing too. But Caitlin Clark, I know. Did you see it?
Yeah. Wow.
What are we doing? She's getting too big, right? Hey, you're a superstar. Cut it out. Stop yelling at the refs, bro. And stop talking to your father during the game. What are we talking about? Be present.
No.
If you want to talk to someone, talk to your coach. Talk to the other players on your team. Stop yelling at these refs. You act like you're some goated, like you're Michael Jordan of the NCAA. Like anytime they touch you, they should get a foul call. Like cut it out. You're a regular human being on the NCAA women's bracket who can just shoot a tray ball from anywhere on the court, which, hey, good looking shot. But, you're just a player. Stop thinking you're better than everybody else. And stop talking to your parents while you're on the court. Have some sense.
So, first off, young man. That's the problem with these young bucks. They don't know anything about what happened in the past. Jordan at North Carolina didn't get any calls. Let's make that clear right now. All right. The two guys that may have gotten calls in college, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, are not even in this conversation. Now, if you want to compare her to somebody, LeBron is the crybaby, but I didn't want to do.
LeBron wasn't getting calls in high, and LeBron didn't even go to college. So
There
how are
you
you gonna
go.
bring his name
So-
up? I know you're not doing that. He didn't even step foot on a university, and now he's randomly in the conversation. That's insane. Michael Jordan. Everyone knows when I just brought his name up, I was talking about when he was in the NBA, in the league, already
Right.
quote unquote the GOAT, right?
Right.
Because the real GOAT wasn't alive yet. But boom. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Boom. Right. Everybody knows that's what I was speaking of, but you want to get all technical and get divisive, whatever. I don't know why you brought up the GOAT's name,
Not
LBJ.
divisive at all. We were talking about Caitlin Clark whining about getting foul calls when she's up by 19 and then yelling for her parents to come help
Yeah.
her. So and then you compared that to Michael Jordan. Well,
Wanting foul calls every time they get touched.
Right,
That he did when he was in the NBA.
But see, you opened the can to the NBA, which allowed me to talk to the kid. Since you talked about the GOAT, then I'll talk about the kid, right? Because that's the one that's just begging.
This
But
is
I
getting
just
lost
wanted to
because
stay.
no.
Yeah, I wanted to stay with Caitlin. But I mean, you opened that can. And
Zion windmill 360 from the free throw line. He's 400 pounds. Cut it out, bro. Everybody can do that now.
I know. I don't know where
Hey,
he went.
Jordan could just jump higher than everybody else. That's why he was decent. But now everybody's got 40-plus inch verticals in the NBA, or they're 7 feet tall like Victor Wembanyama with a 9 feet wingspan and can dunk with their full palms of their feet on the floor. Cut it out. Anyway, back to the NCAA before I get mad.
Cassidy just reminded me the other thing that Caitlin Clark made a comment about was that more people are watching the women's bracket this year versus the men's.
Mm-hmm.
So she said she's growing the game. Okay, good for her. Huh?
I agree with that. And I will say this. Kind of like Michael Jordan, right? No, but on a serious note, right? Michael Jordan, really good player, easily one of the greatest basketball players ever, right? And then he signs with Nike, signs a shoe deal, and then becomes internationally famous, grows the game with the Nike behind him, right? Grows that stardom, that fandom because he had with Nike, right? So I think, yes, Caitlin Clark is contributing to people watching the women's game, but I think her being signed to Nike and them devoting everything, all the marketing to her, putting posters up on buildings of her shooting from one side of the street and the ball going in the hoop on the other side of the street, things like that. I think that them together is populating the viewership on women's NCAA basketball. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, she's definitely bringing people in, but I think with Nike, that's why we're getting that huge explosion of viewership in NCAA basketball. South Carolina to lose, and Caitlin Clark is an easy person to root for, breaking all these records, and so yeah, I think she's doing her thing. If they can keep it going, I mean, I'd love to see her in a championship game, then really see what she's made of. Because then if she goes off for 50, like, what can you really say? I guess at that point, you can talk to your dad all you want in the game. But until then, stop flopping when fans are running on the field, on the court, and keep pulling. But stop talking to your parents during the game. That's crazy.
Because that is how you like that, right?
Yeah, grow up. Oh, man. And on to other news in the baseball world. MLB has started launching a full investigation into Shohei Ohtani's interpreter. Ippei Mizuhara.
Good.
For $4.5 million in gambling debts. And he said that Shohei gave it to him, gave him the money to pay off his debts, right? But Shohei's lawyer said that Shohei's the victim, and the wires were transferred to Mizuhara without Ohtani knowing. So he is the victim of theft.
Well, as the lawyer, that's what he's supposed to say. We need to kind of cover this up and cover our bases as much as we can. But, hey, the precedent is already there. So I'm glad to at least see the MLB doing an investigation. I'm not saying I want them to catch Ohtani or anybody else doing wrong, but at least open the investigation. Because we've seen it before in baseball. We can go all the way back to the gambling era of the 1800s with the Chicago White Sox, the infamous 8 that got banned indefinitely. And oh, by the way, those lifetime bans do not get you in the Hall of Fame.
They do not.
We can move forward to a little bit more closer history and look at Pete Rose, all-time hits leader, banned
by a ton.
by not even close, and banned for a lifetime, can't get into the Hall of Fame.
For betting on his own team to win. I don't
Right.
understand that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was betting on his team to win.
Right.
So how can you throw a game? Like, you can't even throw a game. So how does that mess with the integrity of the baseball game? I don't know. I think it's absurd that Pete Rose is not in it. But you're right. The precedent is set.
It's set.
And Shohei Ohtani right now is the face of the MLB, man. You
Right.
know? So are they really? And they already don't market their players like they should. But Shohei Ohtani is an international superstar.
Correct.
Right? He's very famous here in America. But over in Japan,
Oh, yeah.
it's insane. It's crazy. Like, he's on a different level. So, right, the president is set. If he had anything to do with the money being transferred over, or he had any dealings with the gambling, no matter what it was, apparently, you think they're going to ban him for life?
The president is there. I don't see how, and it's all about timing and errors, perhaps. Pete Rose was big during that era when he got banned. He may not have been the face of baseball, but he was one of the faces of baseball. And as long as he kept stroking the baseball and moving that record, you know, all I'm saying is the precedent is there. So,
Right, but Shohei is the face of the MLB right now.
correct. Gotta go.
You think they? I think that
Gotta go.
this investigation is kind of going to be like Trevor Bauer's. It's going to last like 3-4 years until they get to the bottom of it, right? So they can play it out as long as they possibly can, try to milk what they can out of Shohei, and then in the middle of it, maybe 2.5 years down the road, they're going to change the rules that it's only going to be a year banned, like it is for the NFL. Right, in the NFL it's indefinite because there was a couple of Panthers players, Calvin Ridley, right, indefinite, but then you can reapply to be reinstated into the league. They all did it after a year, boom, back in. So
let me say, as far as MLB, they've handed down indefinite bans, lifetime bans, what have you. They've handed down a lot of those. Only the ones for gambling have been stuck.
Yep.
They've handed out lifetime bans for pets and lifetime bans for domestic abuse.
They slide back in.
They've lifted all of those.
Yeah.
But only those that are associated with gambling for that sport have been upheld, not withheld, upheld. So, you're probably right. It's not going to be anything tomorrow, and we need to wait and see what happens. But it'll probably be a couple of years. But
I think this goes all the way back to when they fixed the World Series. What year is that? It was like early 1900s.
1919.
1919. Who were you? You were in third grade then, huh? When they fixed the World Series in 1919, that took away the integrity of baseball and the MLB for a long time. Then we fast forward up to when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were built like two silverback gorillas for the home run race.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Barry Bonds home run race, Sammy Sosa, everybody was doing it. A-Rod, David Ortiz, everybody's doing steroids.
Right.
They found out about it, boom, got stepped back in integrity. The league took a hit with integrity, right? So now they're building back up, and I feel like this is a tough one, right? Because boom, if he was involved criminally or anything, he has to get a lifetime ban. Otherwise, it's like he got away with it.
So the Chicago White Sox in 1919 were found not guilty criminally, and yet the baseball commissioner.
Yeah.
And actually, they didn't even have a commissioner then. The MLB offices, the governing offices, banned those guys for a lifetime. That's when they got into having a commissioner, and then Kennesaw Landis became the commissioner. Kennesaw Mountain Landis became the commissioner, and he said, "Okay, you guys are banned. It's done. You're going to stay banned. it's not going to be lifted. And so as long as he was alive, it wasn't going to happen. Well, everybody that came after him upheld that decision. And so, regardless, and Shoeless Joe Jackson was probably one of the innocent. He was famous then. He was, if he wasn't the face of baseball, he was at least the face of the Chicago White Sox, or they called them the Chicago Black Sox at that point. And they had the other guys that weren't involved called the Chicago Clean Sox. My point is, it didn't matter your popularity. So Shoeless Joe Jackson in 1919, Pete Rose in 1980, and now, so if he's found, if there's evidence, whether he's found criminally or not, if it looks like it.
Okay, so say this, just yes or no, right? Because Cassidy said we're running out of time.
Okay.
Yes or no, Shohei Ohtani, the interpreter comes to Shohei Ohtani and says, hey, I have these gambling debts. Can you pay them off for me? Boom, Ohtani gives him the money, $4.5 million. He pays the debts off. That's the end of it. And that's all they find in the investigation. Should they ban him for life?
He didn't gamble. He wasn't gambling. He just helped his interpreter. The problem is with his interpreter, his resume is not holding water. He's not who he says he was. He might be a friend of Shohei's. He's 10 years older. He might be a friend, but he's not who he says he is.
So yes or no is all I need, because Cassidy said we're running out of time. My goodness. Am I speaking Japanese?
I said no unless he
You
was
did
gambling.
not say no.
Okay.
I promise.
All right. If there's nothing there, but he just gave him a loan, then no.
A loan? I think he's not going to see that money again.
No, he's not.
I promise you. I
not.
promise you.
He's
But
not.
hey, I hope it works out. Shohei Ohtani is great for baseball, great for spreading the word, spreading the game, and hopefully he had nothing to do with it. But we'll be right back. So listen, hey, Thursday games on Prime TV. Cut it out. I pay for Amazon Prime. I pay for it. I was watching a movie and there was ads in the movie. There was 4 ads.
No way.
Atlanta United's having their season opener. You should watch the game. We can't watch the game. It's on Apple TV. Who has Apple TV, bro? Yeah. Oh, you can watch the Super Bowl on Paramount Plus. Get out of here, bro. Oh, yeah, you can watch the game on Peacock. Put these things on just the regional TV, the local television shows, right before the news. What are we doing? Not to piss me off. I have to buy 17 apps just to see one football game.
So that's where they said streaming was going to be so much better than cable.
They lied.
So we spend most of our time at the bar. He's good.
Yeah, you already know what time it is, baby. One in the chamber. One in the chamber. Big Mike, you're in an NBA game. You play all 48 minutes. In your prime, physically, athletically, in your prime, right?
Right.
How many points are you scoring in today's game?
60. So the other day, in one episode, you were talking about Stetson plays ball like you play. You ain't fighting through no picks. You're not doing any of that. You're not playing defense. You just want to step back and pull.
And they got trashed by 30.
And everything, but no, your game is every time you touch it, you're shooting. And I talked to some of your buds, and they said that's pretty much your game. And so I get that. And so, but that's just where it is today. And in the NBA, they're not playing any defense. We already looked up the big guys that played defense back when Jordan was playing. But this isn't about Jordan or LeBron. This is about me playing in my prime in today's game. Oh, I'm pulling 60, probably on a nightly, at least on a weekly basis. Ain't nobody playing defense. Look, if Stephen Curry wanted to, he could score 50 points every night.
So you're better than Steph Curry.
What I am saying is I am going to the hoop because ain't nobody playing defense. I'm going to have at least 4 dunks and just going to be blasting away. The three-point line wasn't available when I played, but it's there today, and I would certainly take advantage of it. You talking about you pulling, oh, yeah, so they're going to have to come out and play defense on me. They can't sit back like Kentucky and just, we'll outscore them. You're not going to outscore me. I would put up 60. I would put up the 60.
So you were 6 inches
saying,
taller in your prime than you are right now.
No. At 6'2", that's what I'm saying. I would have been shooting from a 3-point range, but eventually somebody would act like they're going to come out there. I'm not going to play Gary Payton every night. So, I'm going to go to the hoop. I'm going to take you to the hoop, and I'm going to do you like what you said about Burns, because I did do that. I'm going to bump you down, and then yeah. And so you're just going to get bored of that. You're going to hope for other things, but it's just going to happen. We're going to come right back down, and I'm just going to bump you down. And once you go flying by, and then if you don't come out there, I'm just going to throw it up from 3 all day, baby. Just from 3 all day. And eventually you're going to come running out there and making a charge. I'm just saying that's the way it would be. And now I'm going right past you. And I'm going to do all of the little, because I like Dominique Wilkins, and so I'm going to do all the little windmills. 60.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay, that's insane. In your prime, I don't think you could beat me right now. Let's just say that. So you might have 60 in the NBA. Pedal against me. We can play the 10. I'll spot your 5. You're losing 10-5. So, and I don't play defense.
And
I would never. The ball would never leave my hands. So, wow. But that's incredible. 60 points.
Yep.
Any assists? Any rebounds? No. You already said you're just catch and shoot, so you're not doing any of that.
No. I'm saying that's what you would do, but
Oh.
and because that's what you would do, that's what goes on in the NBA today. Nobody's playing defense, so if I get the ball, I might as well go to the hoop. Why do you think every game LeBron has 40 attempts? I'm just saying, if somebody plays some defense around here, we could mix things up a little bit. So that's the way I feel.
Okay.
Right? Okay. All right.
Well, we'll let y'all go on that note because that's crazy. But you can have the last word. Go ahead, get your,
Well, okay. So I guess it's time to go. Our show is done. I am Big Daddy, that son of a gun. Now, if your bracket looks like mine, you might as well grab the broom. He's throwing down lightning from way outside, but I'm going inside and bringing the boom.
Let the band play.
Rest in peace to my grandma, yeah, she raised the dawn. And shout out to my mom, I'm a son of a gun.